Good morning. Welcome to this meeting of the Oklahoma Aerospace and Aeronautics Commission, October 8th, 2025. The meeting notice was posted according to the requirements of the Open Meeting Act. The meeting will come to order. Call the roll, please.
First Congressional District Commissioner, Secretary Seth Phillips.
Here.
Second Congressional District Commissioner, Vice Chairman Kevin Potter.
Here.
Third Congressional District Commissioner, Charles Ortega.
Here.
Fourth Congressional District Commissioner, Lindy Ritz.
Here.
Fifth Congressional District Commissioner, Chairman Blake Rainey.
Here.
At-large Commissioner, Jim Putnam.
Here.
At-large Commissioner, Jerry Hunter. House-appointed Commissioner, Craig Kimball.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Welcome to all of our guests. It's exciting to have you join us today. I'd like to make a couple of brief housekeeping announcements before we get underway. First, to help limit disruptions, we ask that you please step outside the meeting room if you need to receive or make any phone calls during the meeting. Also, food and drinks are not allowed in this room, but you are welcome to step out in the atrium to enjoy them. There are vending machines and a snack bar outside this room and to the left. Restrooms are across the atrium. Now on to our first order of business, approval of the minutes. The draft of the minutes of the August 21st, 2025 Commission meeting has been sent to you, and a copy is in your meeting packet. Are there any corrections to the minutes before we consider them for approval? Okay, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a motion?
I shall move.
Second.
With the motion a second, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Potter.
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega.
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz.
Aye.
Chairman Rainey.
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam.
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. First up is item 4, introduction of new staff members. Director Arties, you're recognized.
Just want to make sure we had our staff member. I know they've been busy out in the field already, but good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. We finally have completed our engineering duo search, and we have, as introduced to you, our first engineer, and now I'm introducing to you our second engineer, Mr. Brad Beam. Started with the department just a couple of weeks ago. Spent many years working for the Department of Defense, now Department of War, at Tinker Air Force Base and around the country and around the world in various posts. So very excited to have Mr. Brad Beam here with us. And Brad, you want to come say a few things?
Yeah, I'm looking way forward to this because this is my this is what I did with the Air Force, obviously, and with the U.S. Army. And I've been a lot of places, and I hope to bring a lot to the team. I have a lot of experience at Tinker with bad Air Force airfield payments. So I do have something to offer, and I appreciate the offer, Grayson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, we're certainly going to put those gentlemen to work. We might not be doing as big a projects as they've experienced at Tinker, but we certainly have been dealing with the old airfield infrastructure as they have in their experiences at the Air Force. And also, I believe we have our new intern here, Tinsley Allen from OSU. Tinsley, want to come up and say something?
Hi, I'm Tinsley Allen. I'm very excited about this position, and I have an eager willingness to learn, and I'm very excited to be standing before you today.
Good to just for the record, we do hire both OU and OSU graduate. I know sometimes people have questions about that being a former OU graduate, but we are certainly diverse in our hiring pool, and although it is a little tougher to get OSU graduates because they are up in Stillwater just from a logistics standpoint, we're very excited to have Tinsley on board the team.
Well, and Grayson, I'll give
maybe pass on Tulsa because that's even farther than
Yeah, I would say, yeah, even further. And same for Southeastern and Durant, you know. I think we've had one Southeastern Oklahoma State University graduate as an intern. It's a tough commute from Tulsa and Durant.
Okay.
I'll certainly stand for any questions, but that's completes the introductions there, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Director. Brad, welcome to the team. All right, next we have item 5, financial report. Chris, you're recognized.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Starting out with the financial summary document, as of the end of September, the department had an ending cash balance of $42.9 million, with encumbrances totaling $42.3 million, leaving us with an unencumbered cash balance of $602,000. Estimated statutory revenue for the remainder of FY26 is $8.2 million, and outstanding reimbursements owed to the agency total $6.8 million. This would leave us with an expected available cash balance after encumbrances and income of negative $793,000. As I say, every month, we obviously won't get there, but again, goes to show that Nick and his team are putting these monies out in all the projects. Total fiscal year-to-date expenditures out of our general appropriation and revolving funds were $7 million as of the end of September, which compares to $4.6 million for the same time frame last year. If you include the prep and the designated funds, our total expenses jumped to $18 million for the past 3 months. Moving on to revenue, total revenue collected for the month of July was $18,000, August was $1.8 million, and September shows us $958,000. That does not include some of our statutory revenue that goes through Tax Commission and Service Oklahoma. That should be posted later this morning, so that number will jump just a little bit. Total revenue collected through September was $2.8 million. And then finally, for the 3-year average revenue comparison, revenue collected this fiscal year from registration fees, excise tax, fuel tax, and license plates is about $393,000 more than our 3-year average. I will note last year between October and February, every month we took in over $1 million. So we're going to see that 3-year average probably catch up quite a bit over the next month, depending on what our collections are. Happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Chris, going back to that $793,000 deficit, you went fast on that for me. Could you explain again how that's made up?
Yeah, so that looks at our current encumbrances and our current cash balances, and then what we estimate for the rest of the year, the revenue we'll take in, and then what we also estimate what our expenses will be. That assumes that every airport construction project program for this year will be awarded. We know that's not going to be the case in the end. Some projects will fall back just with delays, and obviously all that money is not going to be spent.
So you manage that as the year gets closer to an end on what
Yes, yeah, we'll
projects are
adjust
going
those
forward
closer.
and where the
We'll
cash
remove
is for
some
those projects
out
are
of
to
it.
make sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. That makes a lot of
Really,
sense.
the basis is showing all the money we've got, we are putting into projects. We're not holding it back. We don't have money sitting in an account just sitting there piling up.
Right.
It's
yeah,
all
no.
obligated to projects.
Good explanation. I thought that's what it was, but I didn't see it written out that way, so I just wanted to clarify that, managing that through the cash you have in the projected projects and where they'll be at the end of the year, you can always balance that out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next is item 6, legislative, congressional, and regulatory update. Director Arties, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we'll start off with the state elements right now. So I just presented at an interim study yesterday, Representative Brian Hill, the Oklahoma Innovation Economy. He had a full-day interim study on all the different segments of the economy, ranging from agriculture to energy to aerospace and defense, science and technology, film, and you name it. And so I split time, gave a 15-minute introduction with the director of the ODAA, Oklahoma Defense Industry Association, Allie Carson. And we kind of talked about the challenges that businesses face to really do a true innovation economy in Oklahoma. I hit mostly the challenge being the awareness piece, which drives the workforce element and the workforce challenge, that people are not aware of what this industry has or the potential innovation that can occur in this industry. And so was able to explain to the committee members, here is why I think the aerospace industry struggles the most. Yes, we have great incentives. We have a great cost of doing business. We have a great cost of living. And everybody wants to come to Oklahoma. but the awareness piece, both in-state and out-of-state, has been a challenge to driving that innovation economy. And so talked about that. Appreciate the representative for allowing me to speak, and then we'll have another interim study coming up next week to talk about space and all things space industry. I also would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Representative Jason Blair. I know he's here in the audience, serves as our Vice Chair of Appropriations and Budget for the Transportation Subcommittee. So thank you, Representative, for attending. And then on to our federal government. And obviously, I think everybody knows that the federal government is shut down currently. And while that certainly impacts a lot of things, I will say, for the most part, many of the critical functions that FAA, TSA, DHS, Customs and Border Protection do to serve the air transportation market, all those critical elements are still functioning, although as we've seen, there's been slowdowns. You've seen in the news some of the air traffic control slowdowns, some of the ground stops, some of the TSA security lines that are extended, and certainly feeling the impact there. I know some of us that are going to NBA next week are going to cross our fingers and hope that we get to our destination on time. I do know that the air traffic controller training situation is continuing during the shutdown, so the hiring is continuing, the academy training is continuing, as well as the field training. And then the facility security inspections. The one thing that is not is the DHS and DOJ's ability to do counter-drone mitigation. That authorization expired at midnight on October 1st, and so they will not be able to do mitigate drone threats moving forward. So obviously we're all sitting here and waiting to see what comes of the government shutdown. And right now, from an infrastructure and a project perspective, we haven't seen a whole lot of impact. But the day-to-day operations of the National Airspace System obviously have been and will be impacted in some regard due to slowdowns and delays, but all the critical safety elements are going to continue moving forward. So as we move into the next fiscal year in FY26, we're hopeful that eventually, we know we're looking at basically a CR, trying to find about a 7 to 8 week CR to get us to that Christmas time frame. I would imagine there's probably going to be another CR at some point in time to get us to the first quarter of next calendar year. And then hopefully at that point in time, they'll be able to get a full appropriations package passed. Or if we're lucky, we might get a full appropriations package for Christmas. That I think would be the ultimate goal if we can make that happen. So with that being said, I will certainly stand for any questions, but that concludes the state and federal regulatory congressional update.
Thank you, Grayson. Next up is item 7, 2026 legislative agenda. Director, please continue. Sandra.
Good morning, Commissioners. Get adjusted here. Our legislative agenda for the 2026 legislative session looks to be light. We do anticipate some cleanup language in some areas, but I did want to bring to your attention today the potential of an incentive idea centered around sensitive compartmented information and facility development, which is another key element for companies seeking to do business with the Department of War on classified programs. As one might imagine, development of a SCIF is much more expensive than just your typical office or manufacturing space, depending upon whether you need the SCIF for engineering or in product development. So this would be much like the engine test cell development program that we have now, and we're just looking at this. And this is another tool in our toolbox for the Oklahoma airport system and manufacturing development and also defense development, working with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. So that is one of the things that we are looking at there on item 7A. On 7B, the engineer tax credit for aerospace amendments, we passed last year the extension of the engineer tax credit to 2032, and there was some cleanup language that we need to do during the 2026 session. And Director Artis, do you want to visit about that?
Can. Is this live? Yep. So one of the engineering tax credits items that we did not get passed at the end of last year. As you know, we were trying to extend it. It sunsetted as of the current tax year that we're in right now. So we got it extended for, I believe, 5, maybe 6 years. We were trying to do a fix to solve some of our one of our challenges, which is if the company you are working for is not in the primary business of doing aerospace, but they have a line of business that does aerospace, the way Tax Commission interpreted that is that doesn't qualify as a qualified employer. So, for example, if GE, General Electric, doesn't have a specific subsidiary that is GE Aerospace that is doing business, because GE's main line of business may not be aerospace, we would have to say GE Aerospace doesn't get the engineer tax credit. Just like OSU, and Oklahoma State University, has a dedicated engineering new development program called OAIR, which we've discussed before, the Oklahoma Aerospace Institute for Research and Education. They employ dozens of engineers within their works. They don't get to qualify for the tax credit because obviously OSU's primary business is not aerospace. And so just like some of our airport engineers, we'll take name your airport engineering firm. Well, they're part of a bigger firm, Garver, Parker, Lochner, so on and so forth. That firm does surface transportation, water, wastewater improvements, building, commercial development. Aviation is just a piece. And so we were wanting to add to make sure that if there's a subsidiary or a division or a distinct department within a bigger organization, a bigger umbrella corporation that does specifically aerospace, that organization or that division or department is eligible, the people in that division department is eligible to receive the tax credit. So that's the cleanup language that we're talking about in 7B.
Thank you, Director. We do know from Boeing, our partner, that this tax credit works. This is one that really works. They brought 2,500 Boeing engineers here originally from Seattle, and they are expanding every day. And so we will be working with Representative Miller on this, and we ask for your consideration on that item. Our last item will be an APA update, and it's been a while since we've looked at the Oklahoma Aircraft Pilot and Passenger Protection Act, and we'll be looking at some cleanup language and see if there are places where we might improve the language. And we'll be looking at airport hazard zoning regulations and continue to look at the restriction of height structures and objects and flight paths. And I'll yield for any questions. Oh, sorry, before you say that, we will be bringing something back to you in December. We probably have some cleanup language for OSIDA, and also we have someone who's asked us to look at putting Space Day in state statute in honor of General Stafford.
Yeah, I've got a question. What's driving the SCIF incentive? I mean, why is the government going to build private facilities for contractors?
We just wanted to bring this to you. So we have a lot of industry. The Oklahoma Defense Industry Association has asked us to look at this, and we have a lot of companies that are interested in doing this. It's very difficult, and so there's a desire to have a shared program where they might put a SCIF at Tulsa International, especially since they're working on the space side there with Artemis and OSIDA. So we're just looking at it to see if there is an appetite to assist companies to do so.
Would it be like a tax credit, or it is too early to say?
I think it's early to say. I think it would be a lot like the engine test cell program, where it's a matching grant proposition where they certainly have to bring quite a bit of their own financing too. And it would only be if the legislature appropriated the dollars. It would not come out of department funding.
Okay.
It would never come out of department funding. It would only be much like the engine test cell grant program.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Do we have a motion to approve item 7?
Move to approve.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips,
Aye.
Commissioner Potter,
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz,
Aye.
Chairman Rainey,
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam,
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Okay, next item is 8, Airport Construction Grant Program Change Order. Michelle, you're recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
The item before you, the commission will consider approving an amendment as part of the department's acting as agent role for OSIDA. This is for Phase 3 of the pavement rehab for Taxiway A North and the GA apron at Clinton Sherman. The change order was necessary due to an additional scope that will that will work on part of the airfield pavement that was previously a hangar surface. The change order will allow for demolishing the footings beneath the surface where the old hangar was located and remove the rails that were part of the hangar doors. Additionally, part of the asphalt shoulder of the taxiway will become taxi lane pavement. The estimated additional cost will be $327,096 and will be funded with OSIDA's prep funds. So I will stand for any questions, but staff does recommend approval on that.
Do we have a motion to approve item 8?
I so move.
I'll second. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Call roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega?
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz?
Aye.
Chairman Rainey?
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam?
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter?
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Michelle. Next up is item 9, 5-year airport construction program. Grayson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So item 9, we have a bit of an interim update to our 5-year airport construction program. You have ABCDE 5 projects that we're making amendments to. The first one is the Enid Woodring Regional Airport. We're sliding back the rehabilitate runway 1735 for 1 year to mirror up with some of the demands of the Air Force and the Vance Air Force Base folks. Lawton Fort Sill Regional, we're going to slide their hangar back to 2029 at their request, give them some more time to come up with the local match required. Shawnee Regional, we're going to slide back their reconstruct terminal building by a year. We're still working out some of the FEMA funds, and in that situation, as you all know, the terminal took a nosedive after the tornado, and so we're trying to get that reconstructed, and obviously a big chunk of that's going to come from FEMA funding. Also, their construct 100 by 100 box hangar for their career tech program that's out there in Gordon Cooper. We need another year to work out where that hangar is going to be located within the Gordon Cooper campus. And last but not least, we're looking to add and modify the Sand Springs Airport. Going to be rehabilitating and upgrading a facility that's on the airport to serve as a terminal building and large hangar for the West Tulsa area. Certainly stand for any questions, but staff recommends approval for these 5 amendments and additions to the ACP.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve item 9?
Move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega?
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz?
Aye.
Chairman Rainey?
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam?
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter?
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell?
Aye.
Motion passes. On to item 10, Airport Construction Grant Program. Grayson, please continue.
Oh, sorry, commissioners, we didn't go through the slides there on the various items, but they're there for your purview. But we're going to go through number 10. We got 3 grants before you on number 10. On item A, the Enid Woodring Regional Airport, we have a project for 8 50 by 50 conjoined box hangars. Total project cost based on bids is a little over $2.1 million. Will be funded with almost $850,000 of state grant funds and a little over $1.25 million of sponsor matching funds. And approval is contingent upon the department receiving acceptable grant application. I believe we have Keston here from the airport. Keston?
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Appreciate your time this morning. We're very excited about this project, and we appreciate the support. Like he said, constructs 8 50 by 50 conjoined box hangars. This is actually our second phase of hangar construction down on the south end of our airport, and provides us with a category of hangar that we really didn't have previously. So I've got several light twin aircraft that have been on my wait list for several years and are very excited about the prospect of this project. Previously, they've had to wait for much bigger hangars to open up, which doesn't happen very often, as I'm sure you're all well aware. So I appreciate your consideration, and I stand for any questions if you have any.
Will the Air Force be using these at all?
No, sir. These are general aviation aircraft hangars. I have two joint use, what we call joint use hangars at the airport that are 120 foot by 120 foot that they will use for inclement weather, but they just come in for a day and then leave usually after it leaves.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Keston. So moving on to item B, we will have a project for the Okmulgee Regional Airport. This project consists of installing new LED runway lighting, signage, and PAPIs. Based on bids, total project cost is about $510,000. It'll be funded with $485,000 of state grant funds and a little over $25,000 of sponsor matching funds. And I don't know if we have anybody from the city yet. Okay, we do.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Rick Pearson. I'm the city manager from Okmulgee. And I just appreciate your consideration for this grant. We continue to try to improve our airport, and every little bit helps and makes improvements, hoping to get business out there and just get some folks coming to our airport. Is that it? Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. And then last but not least is the last of our FY25 discretionary projects. I think you all will recall that our state always does pretty good when it comes to FAA discretionary dollars. There's always this fight of, you know, how can we get as much discretionary? Obviously, it's to the FAA's discretion as to where that money goes. And we have this 5-year airport construction program that plans out these projects over the course of a 5-year window. And while there is some flexibility in there, we try and get these locked in as early as we can, get on FAA's radar to make sure they're on board with it, make sure it's a high-ranking project, that it's going to compete well within the region and nationally, because it does. These projects compete. They have a ranking, and they compete with commercial airport projects. They compete with other projects outside the region. And I know our region, Southwest region, is always very proud of the way we do business when it comes to programming. But the reason I want to spend a little time on this particular project, this was one that was actually slated for next year in FY26. And you all, based on staff recommendation, we went ahead and we took a little bit of a flyer, and we knew it was going to happen in 26, but we went ahead about 18 months ago and we started the design of this project. And we sat it on the shelf with the thought or the hope that, well, if there is some extra discretionary dollars, or if there is some extra money at the end of the year, that we can rapidly bid this project and take advantage of that extra money that's available in the year. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. We started having these conversations earlier this calendar year that, well, we think there might be some extra discretionary out there. We think we can go ahead and do this. And so we had the project, we finished design, it was sitting on the shelf, we bid it out this summer, we got the money, and lo and behold, we're gonna do this runway rehabilitation. This is opening up now a new hole that we can go plug in FY26 and maybe slide a 27 project forward. So again, your all's due diligence and your creative thinking and your ability to have the foresight of doing some of these designs ahead of time and sitting them on the shelf has allowed us to bring home about $2 million of money that we otherwise would have had to wait an extra year for. And I don't know who we took the money from, if it was within the region, if it was Texas, Arkansas, New Mexico, Louisiana, if it was outside the region, I don't know. I don't ask, but I know that we are proud to have received this grant funding kind of at the last minute, and hence why it is coming to you here at the last minute, because this is one of the last FAA grants that we were able to get across the finish line. So total project cost, $2.15 million, 95% funded by the FAA, a little over $2 million, and then we and the locality are splitting the 5% match at about a little less than $54,000. And I believe we have George here from the city. George?
Thank you, Commissioner. George Boardman, City of Salisaw. On behalf of the City of Salisaw and the Salisaw Municipal Airport, I just want to thank you for your continued support. We might be a little bit biased, but we think we have the best state program in the nation. It's through your continued support that we continue to fund and be able to construct projects that are mission critical. And so we just want to thank you for your continued support, and Grayson and his staff do a wonderful job. They're always available. They're always forward-thinking to complete projects like this, so thank you.
Thank you, George. With that being said, staff recommends approval for these 3 grants, and I'll stand for any questions that you all might have.
Do we have a motion to approve item 10?
Move approval.
Got a, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips,
Aye.
Commissioner Potter,
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz,
Aye.
Chairman Rainey,
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam,
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. On to item 11, Progressing Rural Economic Prosperity Prep Fund. Grayson, please continue.
Mr. Chairman. So next project up for grant approval consideration by the commission is a project at Ardmore Municipal Airport. So we've been talking about, this is one of the 4 prep mega projects from the 2022 special legislative session in the fall, where the legislature allocated to our agency a little over $100 million. 22 million and change is what went to Ardmore. And we are wrapping up tomorrow, having a celebration to wrap up the first phase, which is the partial parallel to the primary runway, the south third. And so we'll be celebrating that tomorrow at 3 o'clock if anyone would like to join us. The next phase of the project, which is before you for consideration, is the access road and parking lot to support the cargo development there. You can see that's in the green and the red on the picture. And total cost is about $7.88 million, funded 100% by the prep funds that were allocated by the legislature in the fall of 2022. So stand for any questions, but we do recommend approval, and I don't think we have anybody from Ardmore here. I didn't see Dan here. I know he's busy getting ready for the celebration tomorrow.
Good. Do we have a motion to approve item 11?
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips,
Aye.
Commissioner Potter,
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz,
Aye.
Chairman Rainey,
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam,
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next order of business is item 12, Preliminary Engineering Report. Grayson, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So following up on the conversation I had on 10C, when it comes to discretionary projects, the first element is you all approving that project to go into the airport construction program. The second element is developing a 30% design, or what we call a preliminary engineering report. And this helps get us a really good cost estimate. So as these projects get added into year 4 or 5, or maybe as we're anticipating these projects to be added into year 5, we want to get a good cost and a good scope. So that way when we get to year 1 or 2, we don't find out that, well, we were expecting 4 inches of asphalt on 6 inches of rock, and we actually ended up with 4 inches of asphalt on dirt. And so we went from a $2 million mill and fill overlay to a $7.5 million total reconstruct. That's very difficult to do in that later hour, because obviously FAA programs all of their discretionary dollars on a regular and routine basis. So as we have every year for the last probably 9 years, I think, is when we've been doing these preliminary engineering reports, we get a grant from the FAA to fund between 3 to 6 preliminary engineering reports to get that scope and cost allocated for those projects. And so total project cost for these 4 is about $445,000 to be funded 95% by the FAA, with our match being a little over $22,000. You see the 4 projects there listed before you: Ardmore Municipal Airport, runway 1735, and the taxiway C rehabilitation. the Hinton Municipal Airport, primary, or their runway 1836 rehab, the Perry Municipal Airport, their runway 1735 rehab, and then the Sand Springs runway 1735 rehabilitation. So 4 projects before you for preliminary engineering reports. These will be completed this winter and up in the next spring, and then that will give us a final scope and cost to either amend in the ACP if they're already in the ACP, or help us add to the ACP as we go through that exercise next spring.
Do we have a motion to approve item 12?
I so move.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Aye. Aye.
Commissioner Ortega,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz,
Aye.
Chairman Rainey,
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam,
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is item 13, Clinton Sherman contract. Grayson, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as our role at ODA, helping OSIDA and their acting as agent role to support the infrastructure investment, going back several years, we have a new project or a new study that we'd like to bring before you, and that's a water utilities study. As you all know, they have old, aging infrastructure, as you'll see in the OSIDA agenda. They have a water project ongoing, but that's just touching a small fraction. They've got about 12 miles of water line, I think close to that same amount of linear length in sewer line, and obviously several other facilities. And so one of the things we need help with is getting our hands wrapped around. This is all 1940s and 50s and 60s infrastructure. As we go to request more money to update the system, where do we start? How do we take that first bite, or I guess this would be the second bite out of the elephant? The first bite's already been taken. And so before you is a little less than $53,000 contract to go do that water study and get us some ideas of what should our next project be beyond the current project that's ongoing. And this will be funded by prep funds from the OSIDA account.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve item 13?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips,
Aye.
Commissioner Potter,
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz,
Aye.
Chairman Rainey,
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam,
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 14, Flight Horizon Renewal. Director, please continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So as we've discussed before with the funding the legislature's given us, we've got 3 UAS projects that are ongoing throughout the state. One at the spaceport in Burns Flat, Oklahoma, another one at the Camp Gruber site in northeast Oklahoma, and then a third at Tulsa in support of their Skyway 36 and Tulsa Innovation Labs Drones as a First Responder program. We have installed a couple of radars out at the Burns Flat facility. We're installing another radar at one of the ODOT facilities that's out there in western Oklahoma to help us do our beyond visual line of sight flight testing and trying to get the UAS test site stood up. As a part of that initial contract, which was approved by you all, we installed those radars in the first year of support services. So the next iteration is continuing those support services on a biannual basis of $300,000. This system will be used to track those UAS, help set up this system, this Flight Horizon system, to be able to do the beyond visual line of sight operations out there in western Oklahoma, testing the Firejet and the Valkyrie to start, but we already have several other companies that we're talking to about potentially utilizing this UAS test range once it gets stood up and once we get our approvals from the FAA for that BV loss operation. So pretty exciting stuff that's going to be happening in western Oklahoma. For those of you that are coming out there tomorrow for the celebration, we can show you what those radars look like, but certainly would encourage any of you to come out and attend the spaceport at some point in time. We are going to try and have a meeting out there at some point. You'll be able to see the radars there, but happy to walk you through that and show you what's going on out there. It's pretty neat stuff, but I'll certainly stand for any questions that you may have on this one.
Grayson, so the radars are installed, and this is money to run them. Who's running them?
So Vigilant Aerospace Systems is who our contractor is that installed the radars. So we purchased the radars through Vigilant, and Vigilant is helping us set up the system. They're helping us operate the system. They're helping us get through the FAA approvals process to do the beyond visual line of sight, and that's what this funding would cover, is all the above for the next 2 years.
So the operations part of the contract?
Correct.
So, Grayson, I think I just gathered the answer. How long before activation, FAA certification activation of this project? A couple, 3 years?
I would hope a lot less than that.
Okay.
So I know right now, when it comes to beyond visual line of sight, the key is data.
Yep.
And collecting that data. So the radars are operating. They're out there collecting the data right now. The more data we get, the easier it is to justify to FAA that this is going to cover the detect and avoid component, which we know is the key to beyond visual line of sight operations. You got to do that because you don't have eyes in the cockpit, which is what FAA requires for traditional manned aviation. You don't have those eyes in the cockpit. You got to have something else that's creating those eyes. Well, in this case, it's the radar. It's the detect and avoid instead of a see and avoid situation. And so we're hoping that sometime next spring to next summer, we'll be able to actually start doing some flight test operations with the Valkyrie or the Firejet. Obviously, that's also dependent upon when Kratos's operations are going to occur too, because they can't just pick up and come out there and do an operation on a whim. It costs them money as well. And so it's a partnership operation, but we're hoping, fingers crossed, that sometime next year we will, if not have the authorization from FAA, we'll be working towards getting that and have operations. Now, the downside is we're not collecting as much data as we would because the primary runway is shut down at Clinton Sherman for rehabilitation. So that is the downside, is we're not collecting that data, but we've planned to reach out to OU and to OSU and to Southeastern and ask them if they could maybe focus their cross-country flights to Western Oklahoma and any other flight school that wants to head west instead of east. We would encourage them to go fly through that radar envelope so we can get more data. And anybody that's a pilot here, if you'd like to spend some hours in Western Oklahoma, we would certainly show you the space where we would like you to just go burn some holes in the sky out there in Western Oklahoma so you can get some of that radar and detection and some of that data for the system.
Thank you, Grayson. Do we have a motion to approve item 14?
I so move.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega?
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz?
Aye.
Chairman Rainey?
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam?
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter?
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell?
Aye.
Motion passes. Grayson, thank you. On to item 15, Aerospace and Aviation Education Program Update. Paula, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. As always, I'm happy to report on our work in aerospace education. Since we last met, we did have a very positive meeting with the Cherokee Nation. They asked us to come. They have over 90 high schools within the boundaries of the Cherokee Nation, and they want to play an integral role in making sure those school leaders meet with us to know what's available. So that certainly cuts down on our driving from place to place to place if they will bring in their superintendents and their administrative teams to several different locations and let us meet with them to show what is happening. So that was a very positive meeting, and we're working with them to set those dates. Secondly, a great portion of our time since we last met has been working with OAIR and Oklahoma State University for our new UAS Search and Rescue Competition, which is going to take place October 21st in Stillwater. Here's how it works. The 33 high schools will bring a team of 5 drone pilots to a Stillwater location, which we have not disclosed as of yet. Those schools will fly 3 different routes, one to find a downed hiker, one to find a snake bite victim, and one to find an overturned kayaker, obviously just scenarios. But then at the end, the times of those flights, Michelle is going to be the official timer. We have a lot going on in regard to who will be named the Search and Rescue State Champion. So that's an inaugural event, and I think the students are going to have to use their skills. Many of them, I think you would be so surprised to see how many of those students now have their Part 107 certification and are able to actually be commercial drone pilots, which is remarkable. So that's coming up, and that's fun on October 21st. We have already begun, of course, our annual school visits to new schools. We went to Inola, Quinton, and El Reno Public Schools. All of those folks are already looking on board to come next year. And we have several other new schools to visit in the next few weeks. This is our busy time because schools start to plan what does next year look like right now. And so we're working with as many new schools as we can. We went on September 12th to the Ardmore Executive Airport to help Kingston High School celebrate their flight day. So in other words, the pilots at Ardmore Executive were willing to fly these Kingston High School students. As always, I am so appreciative. Instead of these airport managers rolling their eye, here come a bunch of kids. You know, it's like, what can we do to help? How can we open our doors to take these kids and get them in the air? So we're appreciative to Ardmore Executive for the work for Kingston High School. The director will speak more in a minute, I'm sure, about the NASEO conference, but I was asked to present at NASEO this year a session called Chart Your Course, Create a Flight Plan to Engage Tomorrow's Aviation Workforce. I served to present with Colorado and North Dakota and was very pleased to do so, to tell them the work we're doing to build workforce. In the middle of the presentation, some folks from Puerto Rico, some representatives of Puerto Rico stood up and said, we would like to thank Oklahoma. We watch everything they do. You better be careful of what you're doing if people are watching that you don't know. But it was very gratifying to hear that they were trying to emulate the work that we're doing to make sure that their students knew about aerospace. So that was a rewarding trip. I'd also like to announce we've restarted our Oklahoma Aviation Students of the Month. The young man this month was Jackson Hill from Wright City High School, far southeastern Oklahoma, planning to go to Southeastern University for commercial pilot. Already has lots of flight hours under his belt, and we're very proud of him, and we're very proud of Wright City, very small school working. And then Caroline Chapman from Deer Creek Edmond High School, the young lady that was named this month's Aviation Student of the Month, a member already of the 99s, and has working to get her hours right now. So we have lots of kids in the air, lots of kids working UAS. Finally, the fruits of our labor are coming around for us to see, and we hope to have some data. I know some commissioners have asked, you know, what kind of data does it look like after they leave high school? So we're finally getting ready to have some, I think, because they've been down this 4-year pathway. Be happy to stand for any questions, as always.
Are we able to track who's been accepted at different universities and where they go?
Yes, but at the end of our teacher training this summer, we did that informally so that and we're putting that document together right now. We don't really have a formal way to do that other than to work with that teacher. And that's what we have been trying to do, is to see how many are going and where they are going. And some of them, of course, are even going, even through the AOPA pathway, are going to career tech for maintenance. So that's encouraging as well. Yes.
Paula, Ardmore High School Flight Day, was the local EAA chapter involved, do you know?
I'm not certain if those were EA. I was just visiting with the airport folks, but I assume they were.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
that was very positive.
Paul, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Next order of business is item 16, the sale report and annual dues. Director, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I, myself, Paula, Michelle, and Nick Young all attended the NASEO annual conference in Anchorage, Alaska. I want to say great thanks to Craig's former team. Great host there in Alaska. It's something I know a lot of people have been trying to get back to since they last had it there in 2007. But great opportunity to discuss all of the aviation challenges with our fellow state aviation departments around the country. As you can see there, we did get to visit the busiest seaport in the world. There at the, it's a unique aviation environment, as Commissioner Campbell will tell you. There's no other place probably in the world, I haven't traveled that far, but probably in the world that's like what you'll see in Alaska in terms of aviation and the history. Would encourage you guys to take a trip up there if you're ever an aviation enthusiast. One, it's just a beautiful place, but two, the aviation legacy and how aviation impacts every single person in the state of Alaska is truly transformational. And so obviously we don't necessarily experience that in the lower 48 to that degree, especially here in Oklahoma, but it was interesting to see how they use aviation and some of the ideas that we might be able to bring back to Oklahoma. Of course, as always, the state of Oklahoma was the envy of many around the country, whether it was our educational program, which we've talked about ad nauseum for many, many years. Paula had a great opportunity to present to many folks, whether it's our hangar program, whether it's just our engagement and interaction with the legislature. I don't think, we kind of take it for granted, the relationship that Sandra and I have with the state legislature and our executive branch, but there are agencies out there that are prohibited from interacting with state legislatures or prohibited from interacting with executive branch officials. And we do it on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's part of the recipe for success in Oklahoma is we are allowed to have that relationship. We're allowed to make those recommendations, allowed to have that interaction, and allows our legislature to actually get to interact with some of the aviation companies and some of the aviation actions that we're doing to lift this industry up in Oklahoma. So it really was. It was a great show. I've signed up for another tour of duty as the chairman of the Airports Committee. They've been begging me to join the executive committee, and I probably will have to do that at some point in time. But for the moment, I am just the chair of the Airports Committee. Of course, that's a big thing right now because the AIP handbook is coming up for renewal later this year, early next year, and so that's the Bible by which we do airport projects around the country. And of course, FAA has their ideas, states and airports have their ideas, and they don't always agree. And so we're going to try and work that out and hopefully be able to convince the FAA of our position as a association and our position as state aviation officials. So with that being said, the action here, oh yes. Greg is, not Greg Campbell.
He didn't know it.
Yeah, sorry. His name just escaped me. Pecoraro, yeah, sorry. Greg Pecoraro is the head of NASAO. You all might remember him from AOPA, was an AOPA guy from the early 2000s to maybe the early teens. Did a lot of state and local government advocacy for AOPA. Left aviation for many years and then came back to NASAO several years ago. So Greg Pecoraro is a great one for us to have, and he's got 3 team members that are helping him, a membership director, a marketing director, and a government affairs director that are all working for him. So it's a pretty lean team in NASAO, but and we're doing good. We have cash in the bank as an association. We are doing well. We have a foundation, education foundation that is out there that's helping us be successful in the educational sphere as a NASAO organization. So yeah, we're doing pretty good as a trade association.
Thanks.
The action before you is to renew our membership dues at $12,500, which is being held flat again. I think after this year, we'll have one more flat year and then may have to go up from there. So, but I'll certainly stand for any questions that you guys might have.
All 50 states represented in the organization?
We're trying to get there. I believe we are at 43 or 44 states that are members right now. There are some states that, and it's a lot better. We were in the mid-30s for a while, and so we've got probably 7 to 8 new states as members in the last, we'll say 6 to 7 years. So we've gotten back into a position where we have a better membership picture. There are still some, it's interesting, there are still some that just haven't signed up, not because they don't want to, but because their governmental bureaucracies are not allowing them to. So, yeah, it's interesting. The DOT is AASHTO, which is the Association of State Highway Transportation Officials, an AASHTO member, but they won't let the aviation organization be a NASAO member. It is head scratching, but we're plugging away. There's, I mean, I'll give you an example. New Jersey, we didn't have New Jersey basically since I started here in 2009. We had not had New Jersey as a member for more than a couple decades, and New Jersey has come back, and they were there in Alaska. So we're getting some of those states back. It's, you know, grassroots effort. You got to go talk to them face to face, explain the benefits of NASAO, how it impacts all of us from a congressional legislative advocacy standpoint. And I know there's a couple states that are right there on the cusp. And so hopefully when we get back together in North Dakota next year, we'll be at, instead of 43, maybe 45 or 46. So we're making progress.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Thank you, Grayson. Do we have a motion to approve item 16?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Call a roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega?
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz?
Aye.
Chairman Rainey?
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam?
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter?
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell?
Aye.
Motion passes. Grayson, thank you. Next order of business is item 17, sponsorships consent docket. Sandra, you're recognized.
It's your favorite, Commissioners. Thank you so much for the freedom to do these creative programs that we have, from Paula to myself to all the things that this commission allows us to do. Oklahoma Women in Aviation and Aerospace Day was my very first year working for the commission in 2017. It was a law passed. Mary Fallon was the governor at the time, and she was a student pilot. It was the first in the nation to occur, and I don't think that they've done it anywhere in the nation since. If someone can show that to me, I would be very open to it. Over the last 9 years, we've raised over $500,000, and we've served approximately 5,000 people in this program. Last year, we served 1,300 people. 500 of those people were students, and this is a primarily privately fundraised program, and it's a P3 partnership. And this year, we are pleased to have the Oklahoma Aerospace Foundation that the legislature permitted us to stand up, and so we'll be working for the first time through our Aerospace Foundation. And this money that we are asking for today, sirs and madam, is that this is a seed for me to begin our program. This allows me to reserve tables and chairs. It's for infrastructure only. The agency is not paying for food or anything like that. This is just for infrastructure. Commissioner Hunter and I have had many discussions about how hard it is to do these, and later I will talk about how he helped me recently with Girls in Aviation Day. But these photos speak volumes. This is Colonel Nicole Malachowski, the first female Thunder pilot. She was a Thunderbird pilot, and she was our keynote speaker last year, and she did it for nothing. Her speaking fee is $30,000. It is because the program is so good, and the program is so good because we have the commission standing behind us. We have our staff that spends 3 days helping us build the event. We have 40 members from the National Guard who stand there with us side by side, setting up tables and chairs, doing all these things. And then we have over 70 community organizations and companies that help us with this and fundraise this. We could do this in a hotel, and it would be a lot easier on me, and Melissa's about to find out, but it would be a lot easier. But we do this because when you see those F-16s in the corners of the hangars, the 99s there with us selling T-shirts, which benefits the Okie Derby and benefits their chapter. We are able to donate the funding from the T-shirts straight to their chapter. And when you see those F-16s in the corner and the students come out of that experience, 2 years ago, a young lady was interviewed at Tulsa Tech, and I was watching the interview later, and Jerry and I are laying there, and I just can hardly walk, and we were just so tired from this event. And she said, when I walked in the room, it was like a rock concert for aviation. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've done it. We've done it. We have inspired young people to explore aviation careers, and that's what really this is about. So this is the 138th Fighter Wing that hosted us last year, and you can see there our roses and wrenches theme there that we had, our salute to maintainers, where Colonel Abigail Rusetta, the commander of Tinker Air Force Base, who has since retired, was our Woman of the Year. So speaking of Women of the Year, Paula and I were honored by the Journal Record with an Empowering Women Beacon Award, and we are so grateful for that. And that's because of this commission's work in allowing us to do this. And I know that it's important, the work that we're doing, working for women, because those numbers are very low. I'm sure Commissioner Ritz can attest to those numbers as she's watched that throughout her careers. We just want young ladies to know that they can choose a career in aerospace. So we are pleased to announce that this year our keynote speaker of the year is, or our keynote speaker for this year is Amelia Rose Earhart. Amelia Rose Earhart flew around the world in a Pilatus, and she's coming to us from Colorado with a, again, reduced speaking fee. We're very pleased to have her. And we are saluting Amelia Earhart, 100 years of Oklahoma's greatest aviation years. And Amelia Earhart flew into something called Hatbox Field in 1927. Many famous aviators flew in there. It's over by Muskogee. I'm going to drive there myself and look at it. But it's called Hatbox Field because of the hangar shape, and so I've got to go do some research on that, but we're excited about that. So it's going to, this year, it's going to be at AAR in the brand new 3-bay 737 hangar. And that hangar, you might recall, was a project of the Oklahoma Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics with the Oklahoma legislature, and they'll be bringing 200 jobs rapidly. So the reason why we're permitted to use that hangar is because J.E. Dunn has become a partner of ours, and the hangar is empty, and they're doing the punch list on that. And I don't know much about punch lists, but that's what I've been told. And they're doing the punch list, and then January 10th or so, AAR is taking that over. They're going to be filling it with tools and 737s. So there's that perfect window of opportunity of blank space for us to get in there. And I'm going to take it, and I'm going to do the very best that we can. And again, our staff, we're so pleased to have them with us. Chris Wadsworth helps us tremendously and will be helping us with the financial aspects of making sure that we cross every T and dot every I. So with that said, I would recommend that you please support this program again this year. We are so grateful for the previous years where you have supported, and we would request a $25,000 sponsorship. That's hard to say. I know it's a lot of money, but it is money that then begets more partnerships from our industry leaders. And then the next item, Commissioner Rainey, if I'm permitted to continue.
Yes.
Is Aerospace Week. And Aerospace Week is going to be March 30th through April 3rd in 2026. And what was Little Aerospace Day at the Capitol has now turned into an entire week celebration. The Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics leads that with the Oklahoma Innovation District. Ms. Keedy and her team work with us on that. And Melissa and I will also be working on this as well. So we would ask and hope that you would please support us in these endeavors. These are very important, and like Director Artie said, we have people, I'm sure Paula had people come up to her at NASAO and say, what in the world is going on in Oklahoma, and how is your commission allowing you to do such innovative and forward-thinking things? We've recently also become friends with the Comets, and so Ms. Keedy is working on some stuff with them as well, and we're very excited about that. So I yield for any questions. I'm always around if you guys have any questions about these things, and happy to help and answer any questions.
Thanks, Sandra. Do we have a motion to approve item 17?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
One item, the agenda says it's Women in Aviation Day is December 5th. It's the 12th.
It is the 12th, yes,
So we
sir.
need to
We
make a
moved that
correction.
because of Ms. Earhart's schedule, and
Oh.
so we were happy to do that, especially with her reduced fee. We are also working on a celebrity MC, so I would appreciate your good vibes sent my way to see if we can get this very big fish into our wonderful state to advocate for workforce development.
That's great. Call a roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips,
Aye.
Commissioner Potter,
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega,
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz,
Aye.
Chairman Rainey,
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam,
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, the next order of business is item 18, review of aerospace conferences, trade shows. Director Artis, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We got some pictures, right? Okay. So item number 18, we've got a laundry list of events that we're a little overdue to talk about that we have participated in. Going back to the summer, we just didn't want to belabor the August commission meeting more than we already had. So here you have the Oshkosh EAA AirVenture 2025. Great opportunity to get together with all of our grassroots aviators and our grassroots aviation friends. Again, we had the Oklahoma booth, contingent of aviation professionals. You see Guthrie Edmond, you see Enid, you see Ada, you see El Reno, you see Elk City, you see the Department of Commerce right there in the picture. We also had a litany of sponsors for our luncheon event. Obviously, we have about a dozen Oklahoma companies that attend Oshkosh, Covington being one of them. They probably have the biggest booth. There you have us talking to, is that Redbird? Yeah, Redbird Flight Simulators. If you've never been to Oshkosh, you know how, you don't know really how big it is, how big the grand scope and scale is, but truly transformational from an aviation perspective. I would encourage every aviation friend to take at least one visit up there to see what Oshkosh has to offer. But the one thing that I would mention to Oshkosh is a little different from any of the other trade shows, other than the fact that we're not in suit and ties, which we do appreciate because of Oshkosh is usually a little hot in July, is this is small aviation. So when we go to an MRO Americas, when we go to, you know, a big trade show, that's hitting a handful of airports and a handful of communities: Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Ardmore, Enid, Lawton, Stillwater, Muskogee, you know, the bigger communities around. But the companies that are here that we're calling upon could go to pretty much any airport in the state of Oklahoma, because most of them are small, flying small aircraft that need maybe a 2,500-foot runway, which pretty much is all of the airports in the state of Oklahoma. And so that's the neat thing about this trade show, is this is truly grassroots. It's truly every single community in the state of Oklahoma that can compete for some of these companies that we're calling on. And so I want to make that statement on the public record, just because sometimes we forget. We go to the big flashy fancy shows, which are important. It's part of the economic development portfolio, but we still have to go to these smaller shows that anybody can be a part of, that any community across the state of Oklahoma could potentially recruit a company from. You go back to the early days when we first started going to this in 2005, it was all started by Blackwell Tonkawa, who recruited a small light aircraft manufacturer to an airport that had a 3,500-foot runway and 10 based aircraft just off of I-35. That is the story that we're hoping to recreate and repeat at many airports across the state of Oklahoma. So really, really great there at the end of July. We followed that on just a couple weeks later with Tinkering of Primes, which is probably the largest in-state trade show that we do. Everybody that does business with Tinker Air Force Base is there at the Reed Center. If you've ever been to Tinkering of Primes, you know it's a very, very high-powered show, but also very cramped. We love Midwest City. We'd love them to expand the Reed Center if they can. But great opportunity there to partner with our friends from Commerce, from Manufacturing Alliance, and others. Follow that on with the UAS AAM Multi-State Collaborative. So this is an opportunity to bring people to Oklahoma for the first time since we hosted a NASAO in 2018. So many of you probably weren't on the board in 2018, but those that were, remember we hosted the NASAO conference, the one we were just talking about, here to Oklahoma City. And this is the first time we've been able to host a group of state aviation officials back to Oklahoma. So you know, I know you've heard Doug and I talk about the multi-state collaborative when it comes to UAS and AAM. This is a kind of grassroots effort that grew out of a bunch of NASAO members that got together and said, how are we going to handle and tackle this new entrant to the aviation sphere? And so we knew that states were going to have an active participation role in the integration of these technologies. And so we created that. Doug and I went to the first multi-state collaborative meeting about a year and a half ago in Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C. And ever since then, about every 6 months or so, they try and get together in a new location to have a meeting where they come together over a couple of days to discuss issues, particularly this white paper that we are creating, which is a set of policy positions for the collaborative and for the NASEO organization as a whole. And so about 4 months ago, they were looking for their next location, and Doug and I looked at each other and said, yeah, let's volunteer Oklahoma. And so we brought everybody to the state. I think we had maybe 22 states there, a lot of other consultants and industry members that participated, came to the Oklahoma State Capitol. I think I see Commissioner Campbell there in his cowboy hat in the bottom left of that picture. Very, very easy to pick out there. And had a great opportunity to showcase this. And obviously there was a lot of momentum that came out of this leading up to our NASEO convention last month. But the thing that resonated the most, that also resonated from the 2018 is we rolled out the red carpet. We wowed the rest of the states of what Oklahoma has to offer, not just from our state capital, which is beautiful and which they loved, and they were very thankful. I wish they would have seen it pre-renovation and then post, because they would have understood how great it has become. But also just some of the things that they're able to see and do in the evenings here in Oklahoma, that we were able to truly transform many people's opinions of Oklahoma being this small frontier state, and that we are now actually a true believer, true leader in all things culture and community. And so I was really proud that, the team, Sandra and Doug and everybody else that supported this effort, were able to pull this off and bring the state aviation officials from all across the country here to Oklahoma and host them in our great state. And then last but not least, we had the Oklahoma Municipal League. Of course, that's one of our conferences that we're most closely aligned with. Most of our airport sponsors are communities and cities and towns. And so participated there at the Municipal League September 10th and 11th here in Oklahoma City. And I believe, if I remember, we had Doug that spoke at one of their events, which was able to explain to them how UAS and AAM work throughout the state of Oklahoma, and if there's any resource that those towns and communities need, any assistance they need, we're certainly willing and able to help. So with that, I'll certainly stand for any questions, but we've had a busy couple of months on the conferences and trade shows, and as you'll hear, it was even busier on the events and activities side. But I'll certainly stand for any questions that you all might have.
Thank you, Director. Next order of business is item 19, review of aerospace events and activities. Sandra Grayson, please continue here.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is a long presentation, so I'm going to go quickly if that's all right with you. But what I'm presenting to you this morning is what I like to call airport art. So that is the most beautiful terminal. I don't know why that number's on there. That's bugging me. But that was a beautiful photo that Narrative Structure took for us there. They're partners with us. And so I'm going to go through and show you some of these events that we had. So this was the Miami Terminal dedication on August 1st. This is the Mid-America Terminal dedication on August 22nd. We had Senator Hayes there and some other dignitaries as well. This is the Mid-America Terminal that is so beautiful, and Mid-America just did an outstanding job on their reception and their ceremony. And they had a lot of planes, a lot of activity there. So Mid-America is really a community to watch. Then we had, this is also Mid-America there. And then we're on to Bartlesville, and we had the opportunity to go to the beautiful Bartlesville Airport, and Chris Batchelder and his team did a great job there. And we had, that's Representative Judd Strom there, and then they had their ribbon cutting, and they also had a groundbreaking as well. So this is the ribbon cutting, and that was the most beautiful pavement I've ever seen, Commissioner Potter. I don't know if pavement can be beautiful. That was beautiful pavement. So so here is there. We also had Senator Darrell Weaver, who is the Vice Chair of General Government and Transportation in the Senate, and there was a lot of dignitaries there as well, as Representative Kane was also there. And this was their groundbreaking ceremony for their new, let's see, what are they doing?
Commercial MRO hangar.
Yep, commercial MRO hangar. So there it is in the background. So then South Grand Lake Regional, I'm sure you guys know about the wonderful story of South Grand Lake Regional Airport there in Ketchum, Oklahoma. And this is their airport board, and they were so proud. And Melissa worked with them and their team to make sure that they pulled off a great event, and they did, and their entire community came out. And we had Senator Michael Bergstrom there, and Lochner is there, and that is the airport consultant. And that's the conclusion of South Grand Lake. So this is Okemah, and Miss Keedy and her team came, and they're in, did their aviation class come, Paula? I think what's the name of their group? It's the Flying Tigers?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay, so this is the new hangar there, and I think they already have it rented. And this is the aviation class there that the Okemah Airport community brought out to the airport, and all of those students were very excited because Senator Darrell Weaver flew in his aircraft there, and so he gave them a nice tour of the aircraft as well. And this was the ribbon cutting ceremony there. And that concludes our, oh wait, this is Stroud, and this was their groundbreaking. Even though that wasn't on the list, I went ahead and included that as well. We have been everywhere, and Grayson has about 25 more places for me to go. So there's not enough months in the year for us to get done all the things that we're doing. We are a busy staff, but we are very proud that the legislature has empowered us to improve the Oklahoma airport system in such a grandiose way. And there are wonderful things happening in each of these communities, and these communities are also very grateful for the opportunities coming their way as well. Girls in Aviation Day, I copied this for you because we register all of our events through Eventbrite, and it's a free platform for us, and they charge the user, but then the events are free if it's a free event. So this was free to us to use. And you see there that 1,377 tickets were sold, and then it's broken down over to the right there, and the page itself received almost 6,000 views. That's a pretty incredible number for a free event on a Saturday in Oklahoma City. And so 500 girls signed up and about 400 adults. Out of those 1,377 tickets sold, the rest were t-shirt sales. So, and when I say t-shirt sales, that is a reservation for a free t-shirt. So that is our logo there to the side. And I just wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about this. We just want to acknowledge our incredible community supporters, volunteers, and the ODAA staff that came that day to ensure the success of the event. We really want to recognize the Oklahoma National Guard and their military personnel who dedicated their time to set up and exhibit and dismantle 50 tables and 400 chairs. Jim Bridenstine, the former NASA administrator and congressman, drove from Tulsa to attend the event for just 1 hour before he had to return for an afternoon commitment. And several state legislators were there, and local military leaders volunteered their time. Colonel Abigail Rosetta, former commander of Tinker Air Force Base, just called and said, hey, I just want to come and volunteer, and she did. And so I just want to go through and share some of these photos. In this picture here, Melissa is new to our staff, and she's experienced about 3 months of the staff, but this is her beautiful daughter, Izzy, in the space suit that we have. And the spacesuit, you have to be a certain size to fit in it because you got to be about 4'9" to fit in that. So we were excited that Izzy was willing to take that on. It was pretty warm that day too. And our staff also did all the registration and checked people in. I appreciate Stephanie and Melissa for doing that as well. Will Rogers World Airport was a huge supporter for us. Director Mulder just opened the doors and made it okay. We had to get permitting processes done, and even the Will Rogers Fire Department came and helped us. And JetBlue just parked that plane right there for me so I could get that photo. This was very important. So this is the official Girls in Aviation Day STEM bag, and it has STEM items in it. And we sponsor all of these things. And so I called our friends at the University of Oklahoma. Commissioner Ritz was very helpful with, as well as Mandy Crockett. with ODAA and the Oklahoma College of Atmospheric and Geographical Sciences and the Gallagly, did I say it right? College of Engineering sent the money. They did it. I called, I said, I have a need. I need $5,000 to pay for 500 bags, and they did it. And this is what I'm talking about. These partnerships that we have are so valuable. And this is our staff under our tent passing out T-shirts. And I ordered a lot of youth smalls this year. So if you have a 3-year-old, let me know. So that was my error. So Clarissa Bailey from our staff did a great job and just really helping. And we were so blessed. Grayson was out of town, and so we had Commissioner Campbell there, and he kind of represented the agency in our opening ceremonies, did a great job. And we also had Chase Rutledge, Chief Warrant Officer 4, I believe he is, or a 5, and he was our celebrity MC, always funny, always makes the crowd at ease, and he did a great job as well. And you see that beautiful plane in the background, that is a Waco, and that is how you say it, or they will correct you. And that's from the wonderful Caldwell collection that's just opened at Mustang Field in El Reno. And the Comets came out for us. Chris helped us have a nice introduction to the Oklahoma City Comets, and that is Moonshot. Moonshot, yes. So that is Moonshot, the mascot. And this is Director Mulder there, and you can see our stage. One of the things that when you help us sponsor Girls in Aviation Day, one of the things that you help us do is we pay for infrastructure. That staging there, all of those things are very important so that people can hear, but it's the imagery and the graphic design that comes behind it, and Melissa did a great job this year helping us with those images. This is Colonel Cisco Harris from Tinker Air Force Base. He's the brand new commander. He came out of uniform on his own time, and Chase Rutledge convinced him to say a few words. And he is an aircraft maintainer, and his aviation testimony is very touching, and the students were very excited to hear from him. And of course, there is Administrator Bridenstine. And again, the things that he does for our state is so meaningful, and we appreciate him so much. He does not ask for anything in return. He drove down the turnpike and back up the turnpike. So we're just very pleased that he was able to help us. Eileen Collins, the colonel, NASA astronaut, was at Tulsa Air and Space Museum on Thursday. I called our good friend Tanya, and I said, hey, I need some help. I need some zip and zing for my Girls in Aviation Day. Can you help? She got me with Eileen Collins, and her honorarium was $5,000 to screen Spacewoman, her film, and for her to come. And so we were so blessed that the STEAM Catapult Foundation out of Tulsa called EPSCoR at Oklahoma State University, and Dr. Wagner said, yes, we can help. And that's just how those things work out, and I'm so grateful for that. And I want the public to know, and I want our commissioners to know that it is our partnerships and with our universities and with our companies that really help us put on these amazing things. It was incredible. The kids were wild about Eileen Collins, and she did a great job. And that beautiful graphic right there is Melissa's work. So Eileen looks right there on Mars or wherever. So this is her and Chase. They had a great rapport and did a great job. And she was supposed to be there for just a small time, but she fielded several questions from the audience, and Chase Rutledge helped with that tremendously. This is our aviation program, and then this is the whole group as a whole there, and you see on the right State Representative Stacey Jo Adams and State Representative Marilyn Stark, and there's Allison Carson from the Oklahoma Defense Industry Association. There's the Executive Director, Jill, from the 99s, and just to the side, I think, is Representative Nicole Miller. And I will tell you this, too, that Nicole Miller stayed until the very end and stacked chairs on a Saturday. That is servant leadership, and we're so proud to have them on our team. I also want to thank Critical Components, who provided 750 bottles of water, and the Oklahoma Airport Operators Association was the first sponsor to come on board for us. If it had not been for their seed money, we would not have been able to do this, because that immediately puts us in the position to order T-shirts. It immediately puts us in the position to order 600 box lunches from McAllister's, and they're probably not speaking to us anymore, but they're on Memorial. If you could frequent their place, they did a great job for us this year. And then at the very end, name tags are so important. It gives young people an identity. It gives them a feeling of inclusion. And so I called our friend at Sundance Airport, and he graciously sponsored the name tags and gave us the money for that. And I just want to publicly thank you, Commissioner Hunter, because I was in a bind and you really helped out. And Melissa did a great job designing them. And I can get you a name tag. I know a girl if you guys need a name tag. But I just want to, again, thank you for allowing us to do Girls in Aviation Day. Again, 40 members from the National Guard behind us. And there was a little less that day because I think there was a football game. So I think some of them are watching that. But the people that came were so delighted. The Flying Aggies came. The Women in Aviation chapter from Oklahoma University came. And Semper Fly came, brought their helicopter. We just had a great time. And the FAA was with us, and Northrop Grumman. And I just really want to thank the Caldwell Collection again for lending us that aircraft. It was meaningful for all of us. So that is the end of my presentation on that. And I want to just thank the public for helping us do that. I yield for questions.
Great job.
I don't have any real question, but I was, like you saw, I was there for the Girls in Aviation Day. The work you and the staff do is phenomenal. And I know the commission knows that, but I want you to hear it. Watching the interaction, watching what was going on, watching us as the booth was being blown over, having us figure out how can you keep the display up. It's tremendous. I don't know how you and the whole staff can do all that you do. Between all the dedications, and I want to make a formal motion, make sure we include Stroud in the minutes, but because it was a great picture. But really importantly, you do such a good outreach across the state, and it's developing the new workforce. It's developing the individuals who will stay here, stay in aviation in the growing industry. I was jazzed, and I watched a lot of the girls there. They were really excited about what they were seeing and touching and to people they were talking to. So keep it up. Thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you, sir. I do want to also reiterate that even though it is called Girls in Aviation Day, we do serve girls and boys at that program, and it is open to all people. So we're really fortunate. We have a really nice friendship with Women in Aviation International, and they gave us a complimentary membership this year. So we're really fortunate to have that nice rapport.
I'm going to
with them as
follow on,
well.
Mr. Chair, because I did a story. I apologize if I bore everybody, but I had an experience. I was an air traffic controller a long time ago in the 70s. And I gave this story to the audience. There's a lot of girls there. And moving up in aviation is important. As you mentioned, the percentage is low for females in aviation. So I'm an air traffic controller. I'm assigned to an approach control facility, 70 guys. Remember that number, 70 guys. And we got our first female trainee. I assigned her against one of the better trainers. And they went into training on radar approach control about a month, 2-3 weeks later. He comes in and says she's not going to make it. And I said, why? What's she doing wrong? She just doesn't have it. I said, well, give me some examples of what she's doing wrong. And he actually looked at me and said, no, she's a girl. Now, that's how far we've advanced. She did succeed. She did get rated. But that emotionally was a fantastic day to watch all those girls, females, that are now interested in aviation to break that ceiling and get into the business that we all love. I just want to share it because we've come a long way. And this is what you're doing to change the dynamic of people across the state. Thank you.
Thank you. It's our commission that really emboldens us to continue this mission. And I'm very grateful to each one of you for your help for that. I know Representative Ortega was there when we passed Women in Aviation in the legislature. Thank you for, you better have voted yes. I'm going to go back and look. So, thank you, sir. All right. Let's move on quickly through the events, and just wanted to let you know about some things that are happening around the state. So there's a defense briefing with our partners with the Oklahoma Defense Industry Association October 9th, this Thursday, at the Skirvin. And if you are inclined to go, I'm sure Ms. Carson would love to have you there. The Thunderbird Drone Festival is this weekend, and I believe that Ms. Keaty and Mr. Wood will be there with our partners with OAAR. You might remember that the Oklahoma Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics is a partner with OAAR for the Thunderbird Drone Festival, and we are trying to keep unmanned at the forefront of people's minds as the technology becomes more frequent. NBAA is October 14th through 16th. Myself and Chris will be there representing the state. And we will also have Senator Darcy Yeck with us, who will walk the floor with us, and we will plug him into all things aviation. He is the chair of Aeronautics and Transportation in the Oklahoma State Senate. And Director Arties, I think, will be there for a couple of days as well. So Spartan is having their Fall into Aviation Technology on Saturday, October 25th. We always want to support Choose Aerospace and the work that they're doing in Oklahoma high schools, and Ms. Kitty can always talk to you more about that if you have any questions about A&P mechanic programs within and without the Oklahoma Career Tech system. And we would like for you to save the date. I would like for you all to be there, but don't stand together because that's a quorum. So December 12th. So I would really like for you to come. If you or your family would like to come, please let me know so that Melissa and I can reserve you a space. And Thunder Aerospace Student Day is January 28th. And we look forward to our partnership with the Thunder every year. This has become kind of a annual event that we look forward to in January. And Aerospace Night will be that night at the Thunder game. I'm not sure who they're playing, but I'm sure we're going to win. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Sandra. Next order of business is item 21, schedule of 2026 Aeronautics Commission meetings. Chris, you're recognized.
Commissioners, before you are the proposed dates for calendar year 2026. Meetings will continue to take place here at the ODAA Commission Room with a 9 o'clock start time. You'll see on the OSIDA agenda later today, we will have the same schedule, so those meetings will continue to be held on the same day. We're happy to entertain any changes you all might have, but staff recommends approval to get these posted with the Secretary of State.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve item 21?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega?
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz?
Aye.
Chairman Rainey?
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam?
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter?
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Chris. Next order of business is item 22, Director's Report. Grayson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll go quickly through the director's report. As you've heard a lot about what we've been doing lately, but the few items you haven't heard about. So legislature provided the agency for $3 million to start the Durant Air Traffic Control Tower conversation to do design and early siting elements. And so we had a meeting about that on September 5th with individuals from the city as well as the Russo board to discuss the steps forward on how to build a new air traffic control tower. If that goes through, it'll be the first new air traffic control tower built in the state, and I don't know how long, not reconstructed like Tulsa or Westheimer or Wiley Post or any of those, but the first brand new build air traffic control tower. On September 12th, I was invited to attend a joint meeting of the Guthrie and Edmond City Councils to discuss the airport and all things aviation. Had a good opportunity to discuss both councils, why the airport's important and why the relationship between Guthrie and Edmond is important. September 16th, Sandra stuck me in front of the camera. I tried to get her to be the one in front of the camera, but I lost that battle, as you can see in that picture. Anyway, had a great opportunity there to go live on the air with KOCO and discuss the upcoming Girls in Aviation Day, which you heard was so great and amazing. But always appreciate KOCO for airing our aviation aerospace activities. And then last but not least, on September 29th, the Oklahoma Workforce Commission, which is a newly developed state agency to kind of be the clearinghouse. We like clearinghouse because you know that's what we are for UASAAM and for aerospace education. But they've dedicated the Workforce Commission as the clearinghouse for all workforce activities in Oklahoma. And so given our role as aerospace and defense agency for the state of Oklahoma, they asked us to convene a meeting. We had a meeting at the Oklahoma City Innovation Hall, had probably about 25 different companies in attendance there to talk about workforce challenges and how to develop the best workforce strategic plan for the state of Oklahoma. And so, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, that concludes my director's report for the day.
Thank you, Grayson. Next order of business is item 23, proposed executive session to discuss the employment of the executive director pursuant to Title 25, Section 307B1 of the Oklahoma statutes. First, I want to entertain a motion to convene in executive session.
I so move.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega? Commissioner Ritz?
Aye.
Chairman Rainey?
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam?
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter.
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. We would at this time like to request that all meeting guests, except for the commissioners, director Arties, and agency counsel, exit the room. We will send someone to the lobby to notify you when we are returning to open session. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to acknowledge return to open session.
I so move.
We have a motion. I've got a second. Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Potter.
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega.
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz.
Aye.
Chairman Rainey.
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam.
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter.
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, I will entertain a motion on our described action.
I would make the motion to increase the salary from 155 to 175.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Potter.
Aye.
Commissioner Ortega.
Aye.
Commissioner Ritz.
Aye.
Chairman Rainey.
Aye.
Commissioner Putnam.
Aye.
Commissioner Hunter.
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell.
Aye.
Motion passes. Now we have item 24, concluding remarks. Are there any additional comments from staff or commissioners?
None for me, commissioners, other than just appreciate your continued support, and the team, I know, continues. Appreciate your support of them and all the good things that you're able to do to support us by coming to our events. And if there's anything that we can do to make your lives easier, to be more supportive of us, we'd like to do it. So let us know. Thank you.
Okay, hearing none further, item 25, announcement of next meeting. Our next scheduled special meeting will be at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025, here in the first floor conference room at the Oklahoma Department of Transportation.
It'll be a 10 or
Yeah, that is
9?
correct, 10. I've got 10 in my docket here, but
It should be 9 a.m.
9 a.m., okay. Be not,
Mr. Chairman, is that a special meeting or a regular meeting?
this is, in my docket here, it's saying it's a special meeting. But it's a regular. Okay.
It'll be a regular for ODAA.
Okay, it'll be a regular meeting and at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Next up, item 26, Director, is there any new business?
No new business, sir.
Okay, hearing no further, adjournment 27, is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Second.
Good, a motion and a second, I declare this meeting adjourned. We'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll come back for OSIDA.